Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be introducing a new project pan here on my channel, which I know is advantageous, but this is the Mission 100% cruelty-free project pan, and this is something that I think is pretty crucial at this moment for me to be working on. So this is a project pan that was started by Sarah. I will link her channel as well as everyone else participating in this down in the description box. But when Sarah reached out to not only myself, but to a bunch of other people asking if we wanted to participate in this project, it was shortly after the news of Wet n Wild no longer being cruelty-free came out. And I mean, some people probably do consider the brand to be cruelty-free. However, I personally have chosen that no, that does not make sense for me or my values. Is they're selling in a market where their products could potentially be tested on animals at any moment, and I think subjecting their products, their ingredients, their formulas, all of that to potential animal cruelty just to be in that specific market, and it's a huge market. I totally do understand it financially speaking, but ethically speaking, they have chosen to potentially allow testing to be done on their products, and I just feel like that's completely wrong. That's completely backwards for a brand that is so beyond vocal about being cruelty-free, and it was a huge draw to the brand for someone like myself. So yeah, I am going to be panning a vast majority of my Wet n Wild products from my collection. Now, I don't actually own a huge amount of products. When the news came out, I went through my collection and I was honestly shocked by how little I do have. It's a brand that whenever I go to stores, I definitely peruse, or I used to. I would definitely peruse and like look at so many of their items in interest, but it's not a brand I've purchased a huge amount of products from, so I don't have a ton of items here to pan from them. But I'm also going to share with you the items I'm going to be decluttering, because I think that that's pretty important as well. I think that in this climate and in this moment, I didn't want to just be not vocal about my choice of not supporting Wet n Wild anymore. And so that's a big reason why I did decide to jump into this project pan, even though I could roll these items into other projects. I really want it to be under the value of it being because it's not cruelty-free, and because it's so important to me that these products in this brand should be cruelty-free. And I know I'm gonna get a little bit heated, but even if the brand does decide to change their mind in the future, I'm not going to, I don't want to support that. I already have made up that decision. So I just want to eliminate these products from my collection and work through them. I've decided that the end date for this project for myself is going to be in 6 months' time. I do not want to be bringing these items into 2020 with me and feeling frustrated because my collection was what I deem to be 100% cruelty-free up until like a week ago. And these products say on their packaging cruelty-free, and it just frustrates me so much. I don't want to bring them into the new year with me. So all I'm going to do is use these for the next 6 months, hopefully use them up, but if not, you know, just keep working on them so that it isn't all in vain, and then just get rid of them. So the items that I'm going to be decluttering from my collection, I'm just going to start off with those. The first one I have here is the Liquid Catsuit. This is a matte liquid lipstick, and this is in the shade Widow's Peak, which is a black lipstick. I don't have another black liquid lipstick, but I just don't want to hold on to this for the sake of maybe using it 1 or 2 times through the rest of this year. It's just not an essential for me at all. So I don't feel guilty at all about getting rid of this, because it's something that I wasn't going to use up in its entirety anyways. It's something that I was just going to potentially let it go bad eventually. So I'm just going to be decluttering it now, and I'm not going to pass it off to anyone. I don't think liquid lipsticks are really a nice thing to pass off to people, but yeah, this is just no longer going to be a part of my collection. The next item I'm going to be decluttering is an actually unopened eyeshadow primer, and this I purchased a few months back as a backup for my Ulta primer, which I'm still working on. I thought it was going to be done like back in like March or February even, and so I purchased this in anticipation of that being used up, but it's not gone yet. So I haven't even opened this up. I'm just gonna pass it off to someone so that they can use it because it is past the time that I can return this item. But yeah, I'm gonna just pass it off to somebody else and hopefully they can enjoy it and get use out of it, but I just don't want to be seeing it in my collection. And I know that this would last me probably for the majority of a year, and I just don't want to commit to that right now. So yeah, it's just gonna go find a new home. And then the other items that I'm gonna be decluttering are these super old eyeshadow trios from Wet n Wild. These are shades that are just not essential. I've just been holding on to them because they were some of my first eyeshadows that I purchased for myself, so I do have a bit of nostalgia for them. And they're good quality eyeshadows, but I just don't have a need for these. So as soon as the news came out about the brand, I just decided, you know what, I have no need for these. They're just gonna exit my collection. I think one of them is the Walking on Eggshells trio, and the other one is escaping me at the moment, so I will put that on the screen or down in the description box. But yeah, all of these depotted eyeshadows are going to go in the trash, unfortunately. So now we'll hop into the items that I am going to pan for the next 6 months. So the first one, or I guess they're two, but I'm gonna count them together, is the Wet n Wild Focus. Obviously it's Wet n Wild. This is the Photo Focus Foundation. I have the shade Soft Ivory as well as Soft Beige, and I do oftentimes have to mix these depending on time of year. I'll add more of Soft Ivory, or if it's summertime, I'll add more Soft Beige, or I can wear this on its own. But I'm going to try to use up both of these foundations in the next few months. I don't think that that's honestly something that's totally attainable, but what I'm gonna do is use them as much as I possibly can for the next few months and just make sure that I get a fair amount of use out of them. So this is probably gonna be the foundation I reach for most often. It is a good, comfortable formula for me. I don't find that my skin feels tight or dry, even though this is a matte formula. It actually provides really great coverage. So it's something that I can wear all the time, but yeah, I'm just going to work my way through these as best as I can for the next little while. This next product is the Illuminating Palette. This is in the shade Catwalk Pink, and it's 4 shades of like a luminous highlighter. So I tend to just swirl these all together and use it more so as a blush topper to give my blush a luminous finish. So as you can see, these are all the shades that are in this palette. They're not hugely pigmented, but they do offer a slight sheen to the skin, and it's something that I've debated several times eliminating from my collection, but it always makes the cut. So I want to just use this as much as I can for the next 6 months. I think what I'll do is primarily use it as a highlighter or a blush topper. End goal, I'd love to hit pan on it just for that satisfaction, but it's not an essential. I'm just gonna use this through for the rest of the year and hopefully make some visual progress on it. Let's see kind of what I can do for the next 6 months. Yeah, I'm really not too sure with that one what kind of visual progress I can make, but we're gonna give it a try. And then I also have a primer from Wet n Wild. This is the Photo Focus Face Primer in Matte. So I actually have a fair amount of product used from this. I think it's empty up until this point. I can't tell because the packaging is completely opaque and it is black, so I really can't see through here at all, but I think it's down about a quarter, so that's good because I'd like to finish this off if possible. I really don't know if that's something that I can do in a few months' time, especially considering that I don't really tend to reach for mattifying products anymore, but this might be something that works really well in just the center of my face in order to keep that area from looking really shiny throughout the day and to kind of grip onto my products. But by the next check-in, I'll have some more thorough thoughts and insights on this. I just haven't used this for about a year, so I really just do not know if it works for me or not, to be honest. So yeah, we're just gonna see in 2 months' time what I have to say about this guy. I also have the Comfort Zone palette, and I have raved about this palette on my channel numerous times over the last few years. So it is with a really heavy heart that I say I have debated just decluttering this and just eliminating it from my collection because it's very old at this point, but I want to kind of see it through. So I would really like to finish off this this eyelid shade right here. And then I'd love to hit pan on the brow bone shade there, and then just maybe just work on expanding I have a very little pan on this shade right here, but maybe expand that pan, expand this pan, potentially hit pan in here, but I don't know, just play with this palette. I'd love to use this shade up. It's just such an easy everyday kind of color for me, so I don't see that being an issue. But with the rest of this palette, I really just am indifferent. I'm kind of over it, to be honest, but I'm gonna use this. And yeah, I'm wearing this crease shade actually all over my lid today, and that's when I hit pan on it, was this morning. I was going to set myself a goal of hitting pan on that shade in addition to using up the eyelid shade, but clearly that goal's already been hit. So I'm just gonna keep making progress on this. I am gonna eliminate this from my Pan Those Eyeshadow spreadsheet just so that I don't double draw it. I just really want to focus on this in this project pan. And that being said, the last Wet n Wild product that I have, I actually rolled into my 9 in 2019 a little bit preemptively when I heard the news, but there was no like solid decision, or like I didn't have enough information to make my choice on the brand. I did roll this into my 9 in 2019. This is the highlighting powder in the shade Precious Petals. I have a question for you guys. I'm gonna put a poll up on the screen here, but should I roll this out of my 9 in 2019 and just focus on it in this project pan? Or should I just not have it in this project and keep it in my 9 in 2019? What do you think? So it'll be up in the cards. I think it'll be on this side actually. I'm so bad with remembering where these things go, but I will have a card there with a poll, so let me know. Do you want to see this in this specific project because this is a non-cruelty free project pan? The subject is Wet n Wild in this project. Would you rather see it here, or would you rather see it in my 9 in 2019 since I have already introduced it into that project? I'm indifferent either way. Of course, I'm just going to be working on it regardless. But I feel like now that I'm doing this project, I feel like it does make more sense here. And that way I can keep my 9 in 2019 as products that are not being focused on for any reason other than they're like older in my collection, or they're things that I want to pan, versus like this product that doesn't have the status, the cruelty-free status anymore. I don't really want to feature this elsewhere on my channel is maybe what I'm trying to say. I just want to keep all that content contained here in this project, but let me know what you guys think about that idea. And yeah, so I feel like my temperament is a little bit different in this video because I am really disheartened by this entire situation. It's really been bothering me for several days. Every time I think about it, I kind of just get frustrated. A ton of other people who are going to be participating in this project are actually in a very different stage in their cruelty-free journey than myself. We're all kind of in different realms and trying to figure out what works for us. So that's why mine has been Wet n Wild centric, because I did otherwise have an entirely cruelty-free collection up until now, but there's going to be a lot of people who are actually going to be like doing this project longer term than myself, and I think that's really cool. I'm really excited to see everyone's products that they pick and how long it's going to take them to make the transition or to use up the items that they select. So every other month we will be updating this project pan. Like I said, I'm going to have 2 updates and the finale. So this project will run for 6 months for myself, but for everyone else, there really isn't a end date. Everybody's just gonna keep on working through their products as long as they want to, or until their collection is completely cruelty-free. So I'm really excited to see everyone else's journey through this project pan, and I hope that you definitely go and check out the playlist, check out everyone else's channels. I'm really excited to be a part of this. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me. Please consider subscribing if you have not yet already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.